Here come the men of the moment. Lee Chong-wei of Malaysia, the tournament's #1 seed, world rank #1 as well. And he is taking on a man who held that mantle for so long. LIN Dan of China. And there is the #1 seed, Lee Chong-wei. Delighted in the stands from the spectators who just capture a glimpse and perhaps a selfie as the players march their way through to their place of business. Highly anticipated this matchup. And what must be going through the mind of Lee Chong-wei? 21 times these players have met, and it's this man who holds a considerable advantage. LIN Dan leading the head-to-head matchups 22-9. So the coin toss has been settled. It sounds as though it's gone in favor of LIN Dan. Already he's got himself some championship hardware here at the 2014 Asiad. Came away with men's team silver in that 2-3 loss to Korea. And consider that he was the reigning team champion coming in, having won that title in 2010 in Guangzhou at home and in 2006 as well. Has a complete set of team medals now. We took team bronze back in 2002. This is how Lee Chong-wei made it through to the finals, dropped just one game. Has been very impressive in arriving at this Final Four stage. No such inconvenience for LIN Dan. Clean sweep all the way through. There's a hushed air of expectancy here at the Gaiyang Gymnasium. So the fans are all too aware of the high level of badminton we're about to witness. Watching a true master at work, particularly in the form of LIN Dan. Lee Chong-wei is a man on the rise. They actually met in those 2 Olympic finals where LIN Dan came out on top. This man took the titles, but here Lee Chong-wei came away with silver on both occasions. And in that Beijing final, he became the first Malaysian player to reach a men's Olympic singles final. Calls it the most memorable sporting achievement of his entire career. He's been rewarded handsomely for it too, set up with a pension for life in Malaysia, as well as an initial lump sum. 3,000 Malaysian ringgit a month he'll receive for the rest of his life. Such was the magnitude of that sporting achievement. So the players just familiarizing themselves with the court conditions, seeing how the drift will behave on court here today. There is a fair breeze swirling around. Their conditioning's working overtime.
On my right, Lee Chong-wei, Malaysia.
Oh, listen to the round of applause that both players have received. So love all Lin Dan to serve. The men's singles semi-finals here at the 2014 Asiad in the badminton tournament. What a rally to open this semi-final. Both players immediately into their stride. It's first blood to Lee Chong Wei. Changing the shuttlecock required. But if that's a prelude to what we're about to witness, well, buckle up, because we could well be in for a thriller. Even though Lin Dan holds a considerable edge in this rivalry, he'll know how difficult those victories have been to come by. Even though the scoreboard may reflect they've been easy, Lee Chong Wei, an outstanding player in his own right. Oh, delightful. Wonderfully disguised. Lin Dan likes what he produced on that winner. Shaping to produce an overhead. And just look how he kills the shuttle over the net, beyond the outstretched reach of Lee Chong Wei. Oh, there's the large contingent of Malaysian fans in attendance here at the Gye Yang. Bright orange shirts. Thundersticks in attendance as well. And every point that Lee Chong Wei wins, well, you can bet there'll be a cacophony of noise from that contingent of fans. 2-2. Racing through shuttles at a fair rate here. Terrific overhead. The great Lin Dan sent sprawling in an effort to retrieve it. No way that was coming back. Terrific velocity. Even a man with the quick reflexes of Lin Dan couldn't get a controlled racket on that one. Well, Lin Dan did well to keep the point alive, but really, having been put under pressure from that overhead, he was always on the back foot. 4-3. Biggest margin of advantage we've seen so far in the early stages of this opening game. An emphatic overhead makes it a 3-point margin now. Brilliant. Points really are being carefully constructed. Both players having to work for their openings. Look at that for elevation. Exploding off the court. Controlling the racket head to produce an outright winner. 7-3. Lee Chong-wei leads now. What a backhand. Acrobatic athleticism from Lee Chong-wei. Look at the body position from which he's able to produce a backhand overhead smash. Incredible point-winning shot. And his advantage back to 4. Just long.
So the score, 5-8.
Well, Lin Dan has approached the umpire's chair to inquire as to whether that was in or out. And the call is that it's out. Crowd have just seen the replay on the big screen and they're making their opinion on a verdict known. Still, Lin Dan in conversation with Eddie Ruffianto in the umpire's chair. So 9-5 in favor of the number 1 seed. What a rally, and what a point. Biggest advantage of the game now. 5-point margin. The Malaysian fans delighted. Plenty of shuttles being aimed straight at the body during the course of that point. And the Malaysian fans Rising the decibel level here at the Gaiyang Gymnasium. Encouraging near man, the world number 1 Lee Chong Wei. Another outright winner. And at the 11-point interval, it is a 6-point advantage for the world number 1 and number 1 seed. We've had some brilliant exchanges so far. Lin Dan trailing by 6. 11-5 in favor of Lee Chong Wei. But every point so difficult to come by. It's the 22nd meeting between these two players. And Lee Chong Wei's last victory came back in 2012. Their most recent meeting was at the 2013 World Championships. Lin Dan won that particular one. And of course at the Olympics before that. But at the Korea Open back in 2012, Lee Chong Wei prevailed. So here on Korean soil once again, can he continue that particular trend? Terrific shot. Decisive overhead. Again, the explosion off the floor. Deep into the corner of the court. 7-11. Oh, say. Malaysian coaches like what Lee Chong Wei is producing. Lin Dan looking at his racket questioningly there. Advantage is back to 5. Wonderfully disguised change in tempo from Lin Dan. Low backhand from out of his body was speedy towards the back of the court. Lee Chong Wei unable to return it. 8-12. Wonderful overhead again.
10-12.
Creating a brilliant cross-court angle. What a rally. Longest one of the match so far.
11-12.
And such a wide variety of shot making on display. But it's Lin Dan who takes it, and a 5-point deficit has been reduced to just 1. Volunteers on the court cleaning up the excess perspiration. The players have gone to their benches to take on some hydration and towel down. Punishing point. Lin Dan prevailed, and it is 11-12. Fight back well and truly on. So Lee Chong-wei able to stop the run of points from Lin Dan. Lin Dan unable to get back to parity.
Service over. 12-13.
Brilliant from Lin Dan. And we are all tied at 13 points apiece. Lee Chong-wei led by as many as 5 on a couple of occasions. Here in this semi-final. And now even once again. Oh, now Lin Dan has spun on his heels, and that's his reaction, because umpire Edward Fianto has called a correction. Lin Dan can't believe it. Rackets being hurled to the court, and Lin Dan asking the question, why? Here's the point. Again, the crowd have just seen it on the replay. Lin Dan still not happy. But umpire Eddie Ruffianto, firm and emphatic in his judgment, has called the shuttle out from his chair high above the court. And so it's Lee Chong Wei who takes a 1-point lead. So how will Lin Dan use that emotion and that perceived injustice? Well, he swerved out of the way. Lee Chong Wei. Just out. So his judgment correct. Lee Chong Wei assisting and pointing out where the excess perspiration on the court lies. So just a 1-point game here in the opener of this men's singles semi-final. 15-14. Lee Chong Wei serving. So a 2-point margin to the delight of the fans. The Malaysian fans at least. That net cord going against Lin Dan, and a 2-point cushion at this stage. And it's going to require more of the fighting qualities of Lin Dan to be on display. And he's got one of them back. And he's overcooked it. Lin Dan attempting to find the open corner. It's a wry smile because he had plenty of the court to work with. And in pushing for the sideline, he's instead gone into the tram lines. His man sprawled all over the court in the front court. I can't believe it that he's let that point go begging. So the advantage back to 2 in favor of the number 1 seed. That is brilliant. Right down the line. On the side of the court where Lee Chong Wei was covering as well, but just look at the velocity generated on this. No way it was coming back. It is back to a 1-point game, 16-17. Again, looking at his racket questioningly, as if to ask, how can you let me down like that? Unforced error on the overhead. And the advantage is back to 2 in favor of Lee Chong-wei. Again, the radar of Lin Dan just going a little bit awry. And a 3-point deficit. He faces now Lee Chong-wei leading 19-16. Edging closer towards the finish line. Lin Dan reduced a 5-point deficit earlier on to get back to parity. He never got his nose in front. Now Lee Chong-wei just 2 points away from winning this game. And Lin Dan has yet to drop a game here at the 2014 Asiad in the men's singles tournament. But perhaps closer to that prospect here in the semi-final than he would like. 19-16, Lee Chong-wei to serve. So game point. Lin Dan expecting that shuttle to drop long. Instead, he just kissed the line. Game point for Lee Chong-wei. Lin Dan going to make Lee Chong-wei earn it though. Not an ounce of quitting this athlete. Just 1 point at a time, 1 point at a time. That will surely be Lin Dan's focus right now. Oh, brilliant! And he continues to keep this opening game alive, Lin Dan, refusing to yield. Both players demonstrating wonderful offensive and defensive abilities, but that was the final stroke that left Lee Chong-wei on all fours on the court. It's still game point for Lee Chong-wei. Lin Dan looking to force it to 2 clear points. Needs to take this next one. And his fighting qualities really have to be admired, those that he's demonstrated here in this opening game. Still more work to do. 19-20. Oh, and he's fought his way back. We are tied at 20 points apiece. And Lin Dan really likes what he's just produced there. Lee Chong-wei unable to put his man away. led by 4, 2016. But Lin Dan refusing to buckle, dealing with the pressure, and that's the moment. He brought it back to 20 points apiece. It's going to take 2 clear points to decide this opening game. And it has been a thriller so far. $20 points apiece. Lee Chong-wei has led by as many as 5. And on game points, he was leading 2016. So all square. 2020. And Lin Dan has gone in front. What must be going through Lee Chong-wei's mind at the moment? Now game point Lin Dan for the first time. Oh yes, Lin Dan has taken it. Jubilation for the Chinese fans and for Lin Dan himself. His celebration on court, having secured the opener, gave us an illustration of that. There was racket head adjustment during the course of that point right there. Got himself back into position to produce an outright overhead that Lee Chong-wei couldn't return on the backhand. What a fight back from Lin Dan, trailing 2016. Lee Chong-wei unable to take any of the game points that he had earned, and Lin Dan fought back. 6 successive points to close out the opening game. And the legendary figure of Lin Dan, currently ranked 15 in the world, has taken the opening game. He leads 1-love. Well, I wonder what is going through Lee Chong-wei's mind right now. And if there's any hint of dejection or feeling sorry for himself having let those game points slip, he's going to have to put it out of his mind immediately. Lin Dan must be delighted. Staring at game points, 2016 down, and he rattles off 6 successive points to win 22-20. That's now in the book. Second game, Lin Dan to serve. So both players putting attempted overheads wide in the opening exchanges of this second game. Straight at the body of Lin Dan. Evasive action required. The Chong Wei squares it up at 3. Same tactic again. 4-3 was the first time that Lee Chong Wei had led in this second game. Fantastic overhead. Oh, that's a shot Lin Dan would like to play again. The lead is out to 3 now for the number 1 seed. Wonderful. Still the early stages, but this second game yet to reach the heights of that incredible opener in this men's singles semi-final. Points haven't been as long or as punishing, just a little bit more subdued in the opening skirmishes of this second game. Second time in this second game where he's failed to clear the net from close range, Lin Dan. And second time he's picked the open court decisively with an overhead.
6-8.
And again, Lin Dan forced into evasive action. Can afford a wry smile. But that shuttle coming hurtling down like a missile, straight at the shins of Lin Dan. Fancy footwork kept him out of harm's way. Also, it was a point winner for Lee Chong Wei. 9-7.
10-7.
And again, the touch just evading Lin Dan at the moment. And just as in the opening game, at the 11-point interval, it is the tournament #1 seed Lee Chong Wei who goes in front. 11-7. 4 points. Biggest lead he's enjoyed. Terrific winner. Lee Chong Wei electing to watch it, but even had he attempted to play it, I'm not sure he would have been able to return this one. This really is a clash of the titans in terms of men's singles badminton. Lee Chong Wei, BWF Player of the Year for men in 2009 and 10-11. Well, he holds up his racket as a form of apology, Lin Dan. But the point stands. Lee Chong Wei can't believe it. Back to a 1-point game. Lin Dan's body language still appearing to be positive. He won't want this lead to get much bigger. He don't have to dig deep as he did during that opening game to try and close this one out. But it's a 4-point lead For Lee Chong Wei now. Actually voiced his pleasure with the displeasure, I should say, with the lighting here at the Gaiyang Gymnasium in the early part of the tournament, Lee Chong Wei. But he said it's the same for all players, and of course they're all coping with it. Said that generally the lights are side to side, but here they're all around. So he said wherever you look up to play a shot, you're looking directly into light. So he made it a difficult challenge. But did acknowledge it's the same for everyone. Another unforced error. So the advantage is 5. Lin Dan just taking a moment to regroup here. Now trailing by 6 with Lee Chong Wei approaching the 21-point total. Stems a run of 3 straight points earned by Lee Chong Wei. And again, well, he's going to be disappointed with that, Lin Dan. Approaching the business end of this second game, and another unforced error from that usually trusty forehand, just failing to get it back in play. It's happened on numerous occasions during the course of this second game. In stark contrast to the first, where every point was fought for tooth and nail, been plenty of gifts during the course of this second game. That one's not a gift by any stretch of the imagination. Emphatic overhead. That's too good. Beautifully disguised, and it brings up game point. Now, he was in this position in the first game, Lee Chong Wei, and couldn't capitalize. There he led 2016. 2012, a far more comfortable margin. That's brilliantly played by Lee Chong Wei, and we are all squared at 1 game apiece. The Malaysian fans ecstatic in the stands here at the Gaiyang. Sprawling all over the court to keep the shuttle in play. And that final delicate touch on the drop shot, too good for Lin Dan to return. We're all square at 1 game all. For the first time in the singles competition here at the 2014 Asiad, Lin Dan has conceded a game, so we are going to a decider. Second game never really hit the heights that the opener did. The level of skill and emotion on display during that first game perhaps difficult to sustain. But Lin Dan, plenty of unforced errors during the course of that game, just failing to keep the shuttle in play, particularly around the net. And so here we are, tied at 1 game all. What is proving to be an epic men's singles semi-final in this, the 22nd meeting between two of the outstanding players of their generation. 5 times world champion in the singles, Lin Dan, 2006, 7, 9, 11 and 13. Perhaps get a glimpse of that tattoo on his forearm, signifying the achievement of becoming the first player from China to complete a Grand Slam of Olympic Games, World Championships, World Cup titles.
Final game, love all, play.
So final game, love all. Lee Chong Wei to serve. Perhaps a little bit too eager. Appeared to get there in good time, Lee Chong Wei. Could only find the net. That's too hot to handle. That's fantastic. Wonderfully placed. Took some of the velocity off it, but ensured that he put the overhead in a place that was well beyond the reach of Lee Chong Wei. Now Lee Chong Wei making an unforced error at the net. Wonderfully played. Lin Dan likes that. Biggest lead we have seen in these opening exchanges. Placement on this backhand, able to get over the top of it and flick that wrist. And that was the response. Longest rally we've had for some time. Approaching an hour on court now. So the conditioning of these players really will be put to the test. And those long energy sapping points, the recovery is going to come into play as well. 7-2, Lin Dan leads. Well, unforced errors were a feature of Lin Dan's play during that second game. Lee Chong Wei has committed a few of them here. Lead is 6. Lee Chong Wei will want to arrest this run of points Lin Dan's putting together. Just out. Terrific court coverage by Lee Chong Wei. That's a remarkable turnaround by Lee Chong Wei. He was under pressure during the course of that point, but it's he who comes out on top. 6 points advantage for Lin Dan, reduced to 3. What he listed and gone through and eulogized about the credentials that both of these men have. Both of these men have this standing in the game. And Lee Chong Wei's predecessor, as 3-time Male Player of the Year, was Lin Dan. He took the BWF Player of the Year honors in 2006, 7, and 8. Good judgment.
9-5.
Lee Chong Wei yet to lead in this deciding game. 9-5. He's down. fantastic from Lin Dan. He was under pressure during the course of that point. Some cat-quick lunges to keep himself in it. And then when the opportunity presented itself, turned it around to take the point with that outright winner. Brilliantly played by Lin Dan. And he goes into the 11-point interval, leading by 6. Lee Chong-wei going to have to summon up some reserves to fight his way back into this here. Both of these players know how hard the man on the other side of the net makes it for them. And one wonders what will be being offered here. Is it instruction? Is it encouragement? Is it inspiration? Players at such high level, such court smarts as well. What will benefit them? What will help them at this stage of such a grueling match? Been on court for 1 hour and 4 minutes now. Both players keen to book their place in the gold medal game here at the 2014 Asiad. Been denied such as a draw of a repeat of the last Asiad final, where Lee Chong-wei came away with silver. And that was at the hands of Lin Dan, but here they are in the semi-final, producing another epic in this magnificent rivalry. Even though the statistics favor Lin Dan, 22-9, it stands head-to-head. They've been for some of the biggest prizes in the sport. Here they are at the semi-finals of the 2014 Asiad. Very well played by Lee Chong-wei. Seven points, the biggest lead. And it was 12-5 that Lin Dan had enjoyed. It's back to 6. Wonderful judgment. The exertions were audible around the Gaeyang Gymnasium during the course of that point. Grunts from both players as they were lunging after the shuttle. 7-13. Score just going in favor of Lin Dan. 14-7. Did terrifically well there, Lee Chong-wei. He was being pulled to all corners of the court. Some wonderful directional stroke play from Lin Dan, and he made no mistake when that opportunity presented itself. And they're trying to do all they can to inspire and encourage their man in this deciding game. It's trailed by as many as 7. Reduced it here to 6. 8-14. That's too good. And Lee Chong-wei going to have to do something to stem the tide here. But everything's going in favor of the 5-time world champion, Lin Dan. And the momentum well and truly with the defending champion now. Lee Chong-wei's got to find something. Got to dig deep, but this would be a monumental turnaround. This man did it in the first game, but the margin was nowhere near as big as this. Eddie Ruffianto just instructing Lin to get back to court and get on with the game. Misjudgment from Lee Chong-wei. And the response of Lin Dan tells you what a significant point that was. It's 3 points away now from a place in the final. Unforced error at the net, and he can sense it now. This would require a complete meltdown from Lin Dan to prevent him booking his place in the gold medal game. Misjudgment on that occasion. And it's not beyond the realms of possibility. It's extremely unlikely. So facing a 10-point deficit. Lee Chong-wei to serve. 9-19. Flash of rackets at the net. And it is match point. And there it is. Lin Dan, the defending Asian Games champion, the double Olympic champion and 5-time world champion, keeps the possibility alive of a successive Asian Games title, courtesy of a 2-1 victory over the world #1 and tournament #1 seed, Lee Chong-wei. We were treated to badminton of the highest order for over an hour and 10 minutes. 72 minutes it took to conclude that incredible display. But the man who is left standing and will contest for Asian Games gold here at the Gaeyang Gymnasium is Lin Dan. The first game was absolutely remarkable. Lin Dan coming back from 2016 down to prevail 22-20. He then conceded the second game, but then took the first in dominant fashion, and that was the moment of victory. Thrilling performance, wonderful badminton, and it is Lin Dan, ranked number 15 in the world at present, but he's got the opportunity to defend his title. He prevails 2-1, 22-20, 12-21, 21-9 after 72 minutes of play.
이어서 홍콩의 웨이난 선수와 중국의 첸롱 선수의 남자 단식 준결승전이 있겠습니다. 주심은 한국의 강신주 씨, 부심은 한국의 형구왕 씨, 선심은 이주입니다. For one men's singles semifinal match between Weinan Hong Kong China versus Chenlong China. Umpire Kang Shin-jun Korea. Service judge Hyung-Koo An Korea. And the team of line judges are